Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. This is Moan Hen with Willow Bend Environmental Education Center. We are excited to have the Jones-Benally family here with us today. So I'm going to wait a few more minutes. I know some folks are still joining us, so just know we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. I see some folks are already joining us, so thanks for joining. We'll give it just a couple more minutes and then I'll bring the family on and introduce everybody. So I am going to log on here because I am going to ask you for some questions, and this will be interactive today. So get on there here. There we go. Perfect. All right, so I have you on here, everybody. Oop, drop that, be right back. There we go. Thanks for bearing with us as we navigate the brave new world of multiple technologies here. I do want to be able to make this interactive, so we hope that you can comment and ask us questions, because again, we would like to make this really interactive. Good morning. Salam alaikum, my dear friend Munia. I see some friends are joining us today. So if you are joining us, the first thing we would like for you to do is write something in the comments of where you're joining us from. All our friends in Flagstaff, wonderful to have you with us. Unfortunately, we can't do this in person during this time, but the wonderful thing is that you can join us from anywhere. So Science Saturday is an event that Willow Bend hosts monthly, and before we're all this crazy pandemic, we're able to do it at our center, and we really hope and look forward to doing it again in person when the reality allows. But until then, we're really excited to still have this opportunity to interact with everybody, to have all of our friends, our regulars, and then all of our new friends as well. So I'm extremely excited to kick off 2021 Virtual Science Saturdays with our amazing friends and guests, the Jones-Benally family. I'll bring them on in a minute as they're getting ready. Before that, I will just remind everybody that this is interactive, so I can see your comments. There is a slight lag, so if you have any questions, please go ahead and write them in the Facebook comments, and we'll convey that to the family. So they will be doing some songs, stories. They'll be sharing a lot of things today, but please, if you have any questions or comments or want to share something, you have the opportunity to do that. In the meantime, before I bring them on, please write to us where you're watching this from. Good morning from France. It's wonderful. And then if there's multiple people in your household that are watching with you, we'd love to know the ages. So if you have kids, just so that we can make sure to adjust and incorporate and include all of our young viewers as well. So again, this is Moan from Willow Bend Environmental Education Center here in Flagstaff, Arizona, and it is my pleasure to bring on the Jones-Benally family. So if everybody's ready, there we go. And I am reading your comments as we go along. So again, thank you so much for letting us know where you're watching from. We have some friends all over the world, so this is really exciting. All right, are you ready, family? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to add Janita. Morning, Janita.
Welcome. We're so excited to spend some time with you this morning. Yat She'e Janita Benally Yanishya. My name is Janita Benally. She'e Be'et Lechi Nishle. I am of the Redcoat people. Anani Twitichini Bashish Chin. I am born for the Bitterwater people. Nakai Dine Dashanella. The Wandering people are my paternal grandparents. Ado Polish Holyegi Dashiche. The ones that they call the Polish people are my maternal grandparents. Zitlejini Nasha Ado Kintlana Eshahowan. I'm originally from Black Mesa in Arizona, but I also reside in Flagstaff as well. In this way, I identify as a Diné, as a Navajo woman. I'm here with 3 generations. My father, Go ahead, Shah. Oh.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jones Benali. I'm very happy to take part of this part of the show and to share some of our cultures. I'm 21, Saturday to 21. Not the name, das ist sehr, das ist sehr. That's it, that's another. Ado, ado le, be hitahane kon hego, ado le, batan be hitahatin lenden le, hote yare, a hot egi shin koro, class is a good, Nikita, it are. Some of the things that we carry on, some of the traditional way, the cultures, and some of them in the beginning, to carry on and our way, traditional way. My father, my mother's, and my grandfather I learned from that old traditional way. So some of the things that we'll share with you this morning.
We're also joined here by Dahi Tiahan. And Shil, would you girls like to introduce yourselves a little bit? Say hello to everyone here and how old you are.
Hi. Hi.
And just so you know, I asked our viewers here to let us know if there's any kids in the audience, and we do. We have some 6-year-olds, we have some 10-year-olds, so we have some kids joining us. So that's wonderful. And I'm going to bring on Clayson. Are you ready, Clayson?
We have one more guest with us who always loves to be in any kind of internet broadcast, and that is our sweet little Skilly here, who loves to always say hello to everyone. So,
hi, Tilly. Are there any dogs watching us in the audience? Now we also have some dog viewers. So awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to bring on Clayson. I can see Clayson's ready. So here we go. Hey, morning, Clayson. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Oh, Clayson Benali. Very honored and excited to be here. My name is Clayson Benali, and as you've met my father, Jones Benali, my sister Janita, and my nieces, this is my daughter, Zani Benali, and we're very excited to be here with you all this morning, and we're going to share some really fun, unique stories and also history and some cool games as well.
Thank you so much, Clayson. So I am just going to remind everybody that's watching us from wherever they're at. And Clayson, I don't know if you heard, but we have some friends from France. We have some friends from Flagstaff. We have some friends from all over the world, really. So this is really exciting.
If we have any of our Jeanette relatives too, please type into the chat your clans. We absolutely want to know, how we're related as well. That's really important. And that's a reason why when we introduce ourselves, we introduce our clans, because we want to understand, we want to establish that relationship and that community and that is so important for us and for our culture. It's a huge part of how we continue to carry on our culture is that relationship.
Thanks, Janita. So I'll just let you know, I can see you also have some friends from Germany on here, and Colleen Cooley. Hey, Colleen. So we have some of our local friends here, and Uncle Don. So a lot of people we know really well, and it's really exciting. We know that during this time, it's a little hard for us to all get together in person. So we're really thankful for your ability to join us today, to all the Jones Benali family, so that the people who know us well can see us, and new friends and new relatives. So this is really exciting. Okay, I'll hand it over to you all, and I'll be monitoring the chat here. So if people do have questions or want to share anything, I will kind of not interrupt you, but I will stop you every once in a while to let you know what our audience is chiming in. So it's all you guys.
Awesome. Well, again, welcome. Welcome to our Hogan. We are here under the beautiful shadow of our holy San Francisco peaks, our mother and our leader. And we're so excited to be able to share these winter tales and some of the songs that are associated with the games as well. And why we only do this in the wintertime is because we have reverence and we have respect for all life. That's part of our teachings. I think that it may be a worldwide kind of indigenous teaching as well, as to be able to have that respect, that reverence, that understanding of our interconnectedness with nature. So when we talk about these winter stories, it's because there are particular aspects of nature that are asleep, like the lightning, the male lightning, the female lightning is asleep, or should be. Global climate change has disrupted a lot of our cultural ways. Also, the bear are asleep, the reptiles are asleep, the ants are asleep, and we don't want to offend these animals. We don't want to offend the life force of the lightning, or any of the plants, any of the animals that are part of our traditional stories. Now, I know that a lot of people, they think of when they hear our traditional stories, they may say that it's a fable, or they may say that it's a myth, that it's something that didn't happen. But as Dine, we know our traditional, we know these stories, the winter stories, the winter tales, and our string game, our traditional songs, as being our traditional history. That things are the way they are because of our interconnectedness with nature, because of that relationship. And so this is why we only talk about these in the winter time. And so when we're finished, I know that this will be up for a little bit, and we do want to ask people to please take the time to learn, because when we learn about our cultures, when we learn about our heritage and other cultures, then we gain a deeper understanding and a better respect for each other, and we can really build beautiful communities together. So I do want to make sure that you have a couple of things available for our smaller kids and our bigger kids like me. I just want to make sure that you have something to draw with or color with. Paper, lots of paper, because I make lots of oops. I'm not the best at drawing. So make sure you've got lots of paper. Also, some scissors. If you are a smaller human, then you may want to get some adult help. We also hope that you have some string, as well some yarn. This is some of the work from my loom. So these are just some supplies to have on hand. Clayson, are there any other supplies that that we need to have?
Oops.
Oh, I may have lost him.
Yeah. Oh, we can't hear you, Clayson. Let me see. There we go.
I was saying, when we get to stick game to death, I'm hoping that maybe we can make a little board game that people can try to play with at home. And you might need some colored pencils, or traditionally, I'll show you the materials that you can use, and it's all from our natural world. But just to kind of show you an example, we could play with some colored pencils And if you've got some scissors, maybe some heavier paper, or just whatever paper you have, and we can kind of teach you the basics of sticking as well. But with the scissors and the paper and markers, we should be able to get underway.
Thanks, Clayson. And I do want to just remind everybody watching, we are live and we are sharing our, everybody's with their own families and in the wherever you're at, wherever this finds you. So just remember, we are talking and interacting. And so please feel free to send us any comments or any questions that you have as we go along. So, all right, back to you all.
So we would like to, we're going to bounce from Howan to House to Mohan and to your house too. You know, a lot of the stories, our traditional history and our songs are also considered to be blessings. So we want to actually start with a song.
Nayana de Santa ko yinne ko yinya ko sinsi ko Dodo yeta simse lo she ye Hoyo ya simse lo she Hoyo Nayana de Santa ko yinne ko yinya ko sinsi ko Dodo yeta simse lo she ye
I don't know if we were singing together or if there was a time lapse, but Clayson, would you like to explain a little bit?
They're just singing a Keshjet, our Navajo shoe game song, and it's a game that pertains to the battle between day and night, and how at one point in our history it wasn't safe to be one or the other. If you were a night person, the day people would hunt you and kill you in your sleep, and so it was a continuous battle going back and forth. And then finally they decided we're going to have a game and we're going to resolve this difference. We're going to play in a cave. And when they came together, all these songs that they were singing, there's a lot of complex history, but these are the songs that the animals sang to try to deceive each other, to try to trick them or say, okay, just make fun of their character and distract them while they're trying to guess where the toilet shusha is hidden within the moccasins. But there's a lot of history. But I know Janita and my dad, they wanted to share some particular stories about Ma'i, about the creation stories. So a lot of history, too many stories. We could be here for days, months on end, sharing different stories in history. But I'll let you take it from here, Janita.
And I know that's when we're lucky enough to have you come visit us in the center. We always go much longer than our time, because there's just, again, so many things that you can share. So thank you for doing that.
We're so excited to be able to share. That it's such an important part of, like we said earlier, building community and building understandings between people. As Clayson was talking a little bit about our traditional shoe game question and the balance between day and light, night creatures and day creatures like little Tilly here. We we want to sing one. I think we want to sing one more song. This is one of my favorite songs, which is about Winas Chidi, which is a cicada. And if any of you, I know that if there are any of you who have part in Willow Bend's, what is that? The insect. You have an insect club or
our
that's what it is. The NAU Bug Camp. Daisy's
the bug camp.
And so if you've been part of the bug camp at Willow Bend, you might have an understanding of how to draw a Winas Chidi, a cicada, and the beautiful sounds that they make. They're very important for our culture as well. So we want to sing the song for the cicada, Winas Chidi. So when we have our traditional shoegaze Marquez chant, during the winter time only, again, because we don't want to offend any of the other animals. We also, as my brother was saying, there's the blanket in between, and at the very beginning, there were the animals who were singing the songs, and they were singing these songs in order to break the concentration and break the focus. And sometimes the songs tease different animals as well. We're not going to see more songs about the shoegaze right now, but I think what we want to do now is get ready for the string game. And so I know that we're going to be jumping around. We have a short amount of time, and we're so excited to share. And we want to be able to offer some of these different pieces of our culture, who we are, and I do want to reiterate that we share not for people to appropriate, but for people to appreciate, and that we learn a little bit more about other cultures. So, if you have your string and a pair of scissors, we're going to ask you to get that ready. So if you are preparing your string, you want to make sure that it's not too short. My father likes to have this string as, I think, as long as your arms. I'm kind of losing. Here, Dad, maybe you can stretch it out. How long the string should be?
Mom, this is so short.
That's a good one.
I think this was from when I was
4 yards.
Well, no,
4 feet. So D, 4 feet.
What, like people with smaller arms?
1 yard, the size.
1 yard.
Was 2 yards. So this is 4 yards.
No.
And Dahi, do you have any recommendations of the length of the string?
These are long time ago. In You have to learn to
Oh, wait, 2 seconds.
the ceremonies, medicine, some of them from teach them as part of woman. It's like a woman, they weave in a different way to learn all design, the pattern. When the woman becoming a woman had to go through the ceremony, everything to learn. Just like you go to school to learn the same way. And all these things also to from spot a woman to learn to teach the people to how to weave. You know that it's very you don't understand just like you see spider web and then all different lines, but the ladder means a lot of pattern, but also we use the different way we learn some of them. And my mother, when I was 5 years old, they teach me how to do this. I learned few of them, but she know about 85 different kind of pattern. So this one is the 2-star.
That was fast. I don't know if any of you saw
So it's very, very, very simple. You have to go like that. You have to go like that. And then you go like that. And then you go like that. So this is called 2-star. Well, so what's a 1-star?
And for those of you who have just cut your string, if some of you have gotten that, that's a fantastic, great job. And we're going to have my dad come closer to the screen so that way we can be sure that. But we also, the two ends of the string here, you want to knot a knot.
Square knot is easy, better.
Janita, there was a question on why do we play string games?
Why do we play string games, Shaja? Why do we play string games?
What?
We want to know why we play string games. String games.
Yeah. This game. Well, you can learn. Just like you go to school. You learn something, you carry on. There's a lot of meaning. This is the teach the young kid. He doesn't know you can't go out way in the mountain and show the baby and the kids when he learn. Says, show this is the mountain.
But
it's very simple. You put your hand two together like that. You go like that, and you go like that, or you go like that. So you go like that.
So we also teach string game because it's part of that knowledge. We carry on a lot of teachings from Naas Je'i Asa, the spider woman, from going all the way back to creation, and from when humans and animals and insects and plants and all of the beings, even rocks and mountains, we could all speak one language to each other. And so there's particular things that we're taught. Way back in the beginning, there was, and there's a lot of history, so I'm going to try to simplify it. But what had happened was there was two worlds that collided to make this planet that we live upon, to make Mother Earth. So there was a collision of planets, and people began to lose their minds. They couldn't remember a lot of things. They couldn't remember who they were. They couldn't remember language. They couldn't remember. They couldn't remember what it was to be human. So this was brought. The string game was brought by National to help us to remember, to carry on our culture. It's important for our dexterity, for our minds, for remembering the different stories that are associated as well with animals and with our culture. I do want to bring
Can you repeat, Janita? You were breaking up. Say it again.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to bring you all closer because I want to make sure that you can see some of the work that my dad is doing, and Dahi and Deji as well.
I know Dahi and Deji are very good teachers. Maybe you can show us, demonstrate a simple one.
You go across that, and then you turn around like that. And you go like that. You go like that. Make a mountain.
I don't know how to do this.
Has anybody out there made the mountain? And I think we're going to show it a couple more times.
And this one, you go like that. Also, you go like that. You put your thing, go like that. You go like that. And put your hand in here. And put your hand in here. And then you go like that. So you make a star. Twin star. So what's E? That's what you call it. And the other one, you go like that. You go like that. This is a lighting. Lighting for the swing. Lighting. Electric.
And it looks like, okay, so Michelle Galloway is coming in the first part of the mountain. So they're asking if you can do the mountain again. The very first part.
Let's go like that.
You
say on the other side, across the street, you pick it out like that, and then you put your finger in there, and then you go like that, and you keep going, you go like that. The same thing, you go like, but this one, see, you go like that, you go like that, and then you go between here. So a lot of things that this is to learn the winters. A lot of things that against the different way you cannot do on the summer, only do in the winter because lightning, snake, and bear, and hairy dogs, and red ants, a lot of things that they hibernate in the winter. So that's the only way to do it. When the lightning, when the thunder, the lightning, they wake up and come back. Then we don't do that. So there's a lot of things that we care on. It's like it's school to learn, like in school, you get more knowledge. You go to like go on knowledge factory to get more. You get idea. It's hard to use your hand, and then think how you do that. You think you can do it, but you can't sometimes. So a lot of different ways to. There's so many. To this is sometimes the kids you teach them and then learn maybe one day, or sometimes small kids they learn and faster.
Speaking of teaching kids, Dahi she wants to teach a pattern as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come closer, Dahi.
Yeah, silly. Come here, silly. This way. Hold on, just nodded.
Do you want to talk about what pattern you're going to do?
I'm gonna do the 2 coyotes. So first you start out like this, and then you grab your middle finger and you put it through this part right here. And you do it on the other side too. And then you go to the one right with your thumb, pick up the one right before your pinky. And then with your pinky, pick the one right before your thumb. Then with your middle finger, you go right through this little part right here. And yeah.
Dahi.
Wow, that was impressive. I was trying to. Good job, Daddy. Just letting everybody know we have about 20 minutes left, and so I know there's a lot of questions popping up here and a lot of comments. So first of all, I just want to remind everybody that we are live, and so we will have this recording on. If you want to play it again and try and follow the patterns, we will have that live on the Willow Bend website, willowbendcenter.org. So it'll probably take a day or so, but we'll have that on there. Clayson, did you want to share anything on your end?
I know the girls had prepared some stories, and what I want to share, it's going to take about probably 30 or 40 minutes. So I'm trying to figure out, girls, did you want to share your stories real quick? I know that they wanted to share, and you had prepared some stories about Ma'i.
Share a story.
And I want to say, when we're talking about Ma'i, we are talking about coyote. And Ma'i is how we say coyote in our Dinesh in our Dinesh language.
As they're getting ready, Clayson, if you can't share the whole thing you had, maybe you can even just show us. I'll put you on the screen here.
It connects a lot with the story that they were talking about with with string games. So in the beginning of our history as Dinesh, they talk about Hajinet, the creation stories, Dinesh Bahanet. And I guess when coyote, there's a lot of details and information. Sorry, I'm going to have to skip through and fast forward through a lot of it. But there was a moment where Hashcheti and Hashchetuan, some of, I guess, the Diindanet, the holy ones, were gathered, and they were preparing and they were making the world, everything, all the animals, all the creatures. Coyote, Ma'i, he took the blanket that they were positioning the stars with, and when he grabbed that blanket and threw it way up into the sky, all those stars, some of them started to bounce around like inside of a rattle when you shake a rattle, and the stars started to collide and come back, and they the opposite of an explosion, but they all came together and made this world bigger. The world was small, and at that same time they had been making the mountains, the sacred mountains, and this is called Siddhith. This is a representation of our world, of our universe. Here's Anihako. Let's move right here. So this is all representation of those worlds: the dark world, the blue world, the yellow world, the white world, the earth. In between is the water, the rivers, and there's so much story and history that really we could be here for a long time. But this is also a calendar. This represents winter, spring, summer, and the transitions of season all the way through with the 4 seasons. And as we progress through life, when you play this game, as you go through from adolescence to youth, adulthood, and to when you become an elder, and all of that is part of our life process that's explained within this game. It's not a ceremony, but something that they say was given to us the same time when Nag-o Siddhith was given to us at a time to remind us about our history and the beginning, and when those explosions and expansions and the universe was taking shape and form. It's there to remind us and kind of guide our way in life. So we use this as a teaching tool. It's also a way to gamble and to have fun and to learn about history, because I know culture is extremely cool. And what is really unique for me is when they tell this story, I guess in the beginning, the earth was kind of just, it didn't have order the way it was moving throughout the universe. And they talk about how the holy ones, when they organized and they were setting everything in its course, this talks about the movement of the earth, of the universe, and how the endless snake, how it positioned the planets and situated things and brought stability and order to our universe. And it's really beautiful when you look at a lot of the petroglyphs or the sand paintings and a lot of the depictions, because the stories and the history is within there. You'll see like the symbol of the spiral, and when you look at this, what the Milky Way looks like, there's certain elements that are integrated, and it's all beautifully ornate. In our culture, oftentimes our sand paintings, our ceremonies, or even here you'll see it reflected in the game. This is our universe. This is what that world looked like. The first world, Nohadithith, was the dark world, and we lived in a place where it was like not quite a cave. There was no way to see the sun, and our stories talk about emergence and how we go through different levels and different places to get to this world where we're earth surface people upon the glittering world is what they refer to this world as. But within that you have the rivers, the water, all sacred water. Here in our creation story, they talk about this landscape, how before the Grand Canyon existed, when we first emerged into this region on the Colorado Plateau, when we came up, there was water covering everything, and then this kind of like a monster with the big horn ended up carving the San Juan River and the Colorado River and drained this basin, this area. and then the creation of the mountains, all those stories, all that's kind of integrated within this beautiful, simple game. And the way this game works when you play, I don't know if you have paper, but if you have a moment, if you've got a sheet of paper, what you can do, it's kind of like our compass here, but for a lot of our indigenous teachings, the east is where the sun rises, and that's where you start from. I know a lot of compasses point north, but for the sake of this game, this is as the earth turns and moves around the sun, and that's part of the reason why we're going to go clockwise when we play. So it's how we travel around, but from birth, youth, adulthood, all the way to old age. So when we start this particular game, I don't know if you have different colors, but it's always black to the east for this particular game. For the creation of different animals, there's different representation. So east sometimes can be represented as white, but in this case it's black, blue, yellow, and then white in the north. And there's 10. Each of these spots here represents 10. Here in the center is the island. And there's all kinds of, I guess, some different rules, but the way that my family plays this, for a while growing up, I thought maybe our family was one of the only ones, because I didn't know that other people still carried this on. It was very kind of kept quiet or secret, and growing up, we'd always play this game and participate, and it was such a beautiful way to learn about our culture, our stories, and our history. But I've learned that there are other styles of playing that some people play, that when you end up going into the middle, into the river, then it kind of takes you back to the beginning. So this is one of the oldest games. I know some of you are probably familiar with Monopoly or other types of board games, but this probably predates most of the games that are out there. This is the story of our universe, and the rocks that are part of this. This is, once again, part of our history. Each of these stones contains millions and millions of years of history, of geology. And so when we play this game, we're connecting with the earth. The natural materials that we use, whether it's a twig or a stick, or if you draw out your little game, your map here, then you could use maybe a colored pencil, and this will represent your marker. And usually we'll take turns, so we'll start from the east and move clockwise. So whoever's sitting in the position of the east will start the game, and we'll go all the way around. And these sticks, these sticks traditionally, this one is painted with black ash and white ash for the balance, similar to our shoe game Kesjet. When they drop there's a small little piece of corn husk that they'll drop to determine who's going to play first. But the reason for that is because it's made from the same material. It's the same weight and balance. So when we're playing, this represents night, the white side represents day, and it's the balance once again. And then when we play, there's different point systems. So if you get 3 white or 2 white and 1 black, that represents 1. 2 black and 1 white represents 3 spaces that you would move. And then 3 black represents 5. And then when you get all 3 that are white, then you get 10. And when you have 10, you get to continue and go again. So I'm going to show you just briefly how to play this. Zani is here to help me out. We're going to demonstrate this. She's already picked out her piece, and each one of these is designed specifically for the individual. She helped me design this. We cut out the stick, and this one I made these from Chief Chin, but this one is my personal stick that I use. But if you're at home and you want to play along, you would get a sheet of paper, draw out 10 black, 10 blue, 10 yellow, 10 white, and make sure you leave that space in between. So when we play this, these sticks, when they hit right here in the middle in the island, that determines, hey, watch out, that determines how many spaces that you get to go. This right here, when those sticks strike, this goes back to the reference that Janita had made with Na'ak'o, when that string was given to our people because our minds, we had lost our thought process, because in the beginning there was a kind of like the Big Bang Theory, but when all the planets and the things that were bouncing around, when they came together and the Earth split and separated, that's what this represents right here. So there's a lot of teachings just in that basic information of how you play, and it's designed to help us remember our history and our place here in this universe.
Dad.
Okay, are we ready to play? We're going to just show you maybe 1 or 2 rounds, and then we're going to turn it back over to Janita and Dahi, and I've got my piece. Are you ready?
Daddy, aren't you pretending bridges? Because water sometimes has bridges.
Water has bridges. Zani was saying, aren't we forgetting bridges, that we can make bridges? But the water, is sacred, and this island, I know there's a lot that even I'm still learning. My dad can explain how this calendar works too, and all the exact numbers. And I know when we count numerically, this game is 1, 3, 5, and 10. And since it's not a ceremony, it's kind of it's not even numbers. If things are done ceremonial, sometimes it's 4 or even numbers. So since this is not a ceremony, that's part of the reason why it's like 1, 3, 5, and so forth. So I am going to show you just maybe 1 or 2 rounds. Sani, let's go. Hi, Shona. All right, I'm going to have Zani start first. And then sometimes you can gamble. You can put something that you're playing for under here. All right. Go for it.
Let's just use one bridge.
And if you're playing at home, you could just take some pieces of paper and color one side black and one side white, and you can drop them to determine how many places you want to go. These will act kind of like dice almost, is what they're similar, most comparable to. All right, Zani, you ready?
We need a bridge.
Okay, let's play a couple of rounds. We're sharing this with people right now.
All right.
So this is the number 3. All right, Zani, can you move 3 spaces? All right, Musa, that's it. All right, so 3 places, and we'll count together. Ready? Tatha, Nahi, Ha, Biwa. That's good. So now it's my turn, and we're moving clockwise as our Earth moves around the sun.
Oh, I know what the titty wants.
So I get 1. Tatha. All right, Nan.
Might use this as a bridge, right?
Okay, it's your turn. Ooh, so Zani gets 10. Nezna, you ready to go? Let's count them together. Tatha, Naki, Ta, Din, Ashla, Hastan, Suste, Tebi, Nahaste, Nezna. And you get to go again. So now she gets Tatha. That's 1 that she moves ahead. And my turn. So I get 1. Oh, this is going to take a while. All right.
might have to fix those.
I think hopefully you get the idea. But if you want to try playing at home, once again, just maybe get a sheet of paper, make 10 places, and you could use a pencil to mark where you're at, or a small stick. But if you're doing this, if you want to make a board game at home, or the tzidith, you would need 40 stones about this size, and they can be any color. And then one large stone in the middle, and that usually represents the island or the Earth, and it's kind of the map of the solar system as well. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Clayson and Zani, and I think I saw Django in the background there. So we're gonna send it back to Janita and the family, and I know there's a very special person there wanting to share a story with us. So some of you, I don't know what time zone you're at. I just want to share with everybody that we have friends from France, Germany, England, Israel, East Coast. So we're all over, and this is just wonderful. We are going to extend the time a little bit to allow everybody that wanted to share something to share. So Deji, you have all the time you need, all right? I'm going to put you up on there, and I'm really excited to hear your story. And the rest of us are going to mute ourselves here.
So we're going to be telling, me and my sister are going to be telling the story of Coyote and the lizards. And this is Coyote, or Ma'i. And this is the grandpa lizard that that is very wise. And this is the young lizard. Okay. Okay. One day, Coyote was walking and saw the lizard sliding down the hill on rocks. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Can I go? Can I go? Please, please. Ashonde. You're too big. What? Please, please. What if I just go a few times? It'll be okay. It's fine. Just don't go too fast and use the right rock. Okay, okay. Woo! That was fun. Let's go again. I want to go on this one. All right, let me go again. Woo! All right, I'm going to go just one more time, okay? Okay. Don't use that. No, it's too dangerous. It's going to be fine. Just leave it. You're going to get hurt. All right, here I go. Woo! Oh, no. It squished him. You should have listened to me. So then all the lizards, they decided to repair Coyote. And they fixed him up, and that's why he looks kind of funny. Because he didn't listen to Grandpa Lizard.
Yeah, Dahi and Deji. There are so many stories that we have, that we celebrate, and that we honor our animal relatives with. And you know, when the winter begins is when our traditional history begins as well, and we're able to share these stories. And so this is just a little bit of who we are, and as Dine, as the people, as Navajo, and there's so much more that all cultures have to offer. So we hope that we have interested you in learning about who you are, where your roots come from, about your identity. And oh, you want to tell a story too, Shaja? Okay, we're very excited to share, but before my dad tells his story, we do really just, we hope that you've connected a little bit with the enthusiasm that we have for our Dine culture, and that it excites you and makes you curious to learn about your own culture, and that way you can carry on your roots. So we appreciate, but we never appropriate.
Thank you so much, Janita and everybody. I'm just going to, before Jones maybe tells his story, I'm just going to see if there are any questions, because I know some of our friends do have to leave. If there are any questions, and then maybe Jones can finish us off with a story. So for some reason, my comments on here are sort of coming in at a lag. So if you see them on your screen too, if there are any questions or anybody wants to share anything. So a lot of thank yous. Thanks, everybody. There's a lot of appreciation in all languages. This is great. And this is not the last time that we're going to have the Jones Benally family or members of the family here with us. We're working on some other really fun projects. So I want to just, of course, from a very personal place in the bottom of my heart, thank you for sharing this today and for all of your partnership on today and always. So thank you so much. And I'm going to hand it over to Jones to tell his story, and I'll put him up here front and center. And Clayton, if you want to stay with us, just in case there are some questions or comments at the end, we'll leave some time for that.
Got there. Hello, everybody. We'll show you a little bit the Ma'i Kayu was the long history about what he did, trying to be included with anybody. So one day, and they have the bird. They have here's the name the bird.
Oh,
The name the bird, and the bird, they have a certain time they get together, like a festival, or they got together. So this bird, they got together, and they have a good time. And Maya was, he came over and said, "Wow, looks good." He said, "You think I can do that?" Their eyes, they take it up, they throw up in the trees, and the spruce, the trees, very long one. So they throw up way up in the air and come back, call it wind back in my eyes. So they come back in their eyes. So that's what they're doing. So why do I do that? Say, no, there's people who live alone society. You cannot, you're not a bird. So no, I can do that. That's fun. I want to do that. So I said, okay. say we're just going to do one time. And through the eyes, they got about little ways and they come back. Wow, it's fun. Let it do again. They throw up again, a little higher, and they finally come back. And then third time, go up there again, a little higher. They say, wow, it's good. And then they throw up. Say one more time. They throw up 4 times, way up in the tops of the trees, and stop up there. And they hear say, "Chinook and being bread into my eyes," but and then it doesn't. So the people, they said, "No, we're not going to give him back the eye." So say, "Where are my eyes? Where are my eyes?" And then so the people, or the bird. So this is the good eyes. They're very special. So they share all the eyes. It's because it's better eyes to me. And so they put the trees pitch and they put in their eyes. So then he said he says okay, but it's okay. He can see that. So that's what happened, and then he lost the good eyes. So you're always something. You go somewhere, including you wants to do that too. Like in a show, what's going on, and it's a lot of story about this. Only talk about in the winters, a lot of them, like some of them hibernated in the cold. We don't talk about them because our life included what we carry on to learn to ourselves. Just like you educate yourself, you can't be lawyers or politician or wherever. So it's the same way. There's a lot of to study. You never learn a lot of things every year, and mostly to learn in the winters, because in the winters we work in the cornfield and herding the sheep more, and a long day.
Summer, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jones. And thank you, everybody. A lot of the comments are asking for more. And I know we all want to hear more.
Illy.
And I want to thank our youth. I want to thank Dahi and Deji for sharing that story with us as well, and Clayson and Zani and everybody there. So if you want to just say a few last things your goodbyes to everybody, I'll let Clayson go first, and then I'll bring it back to you, Janita.
I want to thank you again, Mohan, for hosting us with Willow Bend and bringing this presentation. I know there's a lot of techniques in how to play, but I forgot to just give that how you actually win is by when you finally go all the way around back to the start. When you go to the Nahokli, to the north, then you are able to connect back to the beginning. And that's how the Tziddik is won. And usually whoever wins would get whatever money or whatever you choose to put here under the island. But this represents this region here where we live in the Colorado Plateau. And before, when this was all covered with water, when you used to, I guess you could still find fossils of shark's teeth and all kinds of different beautiful, amazing historical items here that show how old this world is. And when we're playing, we're not just playing with ourselves, we're playing with the stones, the natural elements of the earth, and part of that history and reconnecting to our natural world. So there's so many beautiful amazing teachings that kind of go along with it. And I'm so grateful just to be here, to be able to share a little bit of this. I know it's something that when I was a kid, I thought maybe I was the only one, and I see there's more of a resurgence and people are starting to share and teach this game again. And the ways that, if you don't have access to natural stones or just some sticks, they would be rounded on one side, curved, and then flat on the other side. So it's male and female, dark and or nighttime and daytime. So those are just some of the basics to get you going. And I hope maybe we'll have a bunch of seasoned professionals next time when we get to come together at Willow Bend and we can have a big game.
Thank you so much, Chris. Janita, I'm sending it back to you now.
So we want to thank everybody so much. We, of course, want to thank Willow Bend and Mohan for having us and giving us this platform to be able to share and build bridges and carry on, and hopefully inspire others to carry on their cultures as well. We're just grateful. And I know that these are little snippets of parts of our culture, and that there is a much larger context that these stories and that these songs and that these games and even the string game, that they all tie into. And so an hour is definitely not long enough, but it's hopefully to inspire you. And that's really what we want to do, is that every culture in this world is uniquely beautiful, and every culture is so valuable, to treasure. So please take the time to learn your culture. Please take the time, while many of us are in isolation and quarantine, please take the time to learn what you can from your elders in a safe way, because we want to protect our elders. We also are hoping that if any of you had any kind of inspiration to draw any of the ma'i or the coyote or the winashchiri, the cicada, the lizards, any of the scenes, or set the rock, as Stacey's saying. If you would like to share any of that, I think Willow Bend has that platform where you can post, and we would love to see what you've made. If you've taken any pictures of any of your string patterns as well, we would love to see that. And if you even greater, if you have any expressions or any cultural teachings from your own culture, and you would like to post that as part of an exchange, we would also really love to see that. So thank you so much for having us. And I also want to just mention that you can, my dad doesn't want to stop, but you're welcome to follow us on our Sihasin YouTube page, as well as our individual Facebook platforms under Sihasin and the Jones Benally family as well. Anything anybody else wants to say?
No.
Thank you so much, Janita. She has her own following. So I just want to emphasize, thanks for bringing that up, because we do have now a thread. Just so you know, there's over 80 comments. Again, people just sharing where they're from, questions on this live video on the Willow Bend Facebook page. So I do want to extend that invitation for all of you. If you drew anything, if you tried the stick game, Clayton, that was so detailed, and I really appreciate it, because I've been attending the stick game for many years and never quite got the the numbering system, how you actually move. So I learned a lot today. So thank you. And I know I'm reading the comments, a lot of people have as well. And so I encourage people that will be up. And so go ahead and post pictures. I took a couple of pictures. I'll post some. And if you are drawing anything, or if you tried any of the string games, any of the patterns, please go ahead and share that with us. This video will also be on the Willow Bend website. So for all your friends who don't have Facebook, or if you, once this sort of gets buried with everything else, willowbendcenter.org. It'll go on for the duration of the winter, in respect for the time frame that this will be up. And so again, thank you everybody. I know we can go on, and I like to stay here and just keep chatting with all of you because I miss everybody. But we do have to be respectful of everybody's time and this beautiful day, at least out here in Flagstaff, Arizona. Wherever you're at, stay healthy, stay well, and we really look forward to seeing you at our next, for now, virtual event, but hopefully in person when that time comes. So bye everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.